Ooh, so late night work on the Screw 84 Buick Regal. We are going to redo the switch panel because it is absolutely ridiculously ugly, horrible, and pretty much dangerous. Okay, you got wires exposed, you got a bunch of butt connects, you don't have any traceability. So what I have done is, and these are some things I recommend you do, and I'm gonna leave product links to everything that I'm using for this video. So if you could like, subscribe, super hype or hype, and share the videos. First thing you wanna do is decide what's what. All right, this is my front, my rear. I have a 3-pump, 8 battery setup, piston to the nose, 2 rear pumps here. Okay, so this is my front and I'm cool with that. You also need to pre-plan and think about your orientation on how you want your switch panel. I don't like my switch panel the way it's wired. I didn't wire it. So with that being said, I'm going to fix it. So right now, originally, this is front, this is rear. This one right here is actually the right passenger corner pump and dump, and this is the driver corner pump and dump. I don't like that. I want my switches to be in natural orientation to how I'm going to function. So the first one I always know is the front. Second one is going to be my rear. I want this one, like I'm driving this way. If I hit this switch, I want it to be the driver's side pump and dump. Okay. And I want this one the furthest from the left to be the passenger side pump or dump. Right now it's inverse. So if that's a situation, you flip them, but don't just flip the switches, wire them as so. So I have a panel here that I'm going to use to mock up the new switches, which are right here, the Garland switches. I have my connectors. I have my new extensions, which we'll go over something on that. I have my crimping tool. Okay, I also have a foolproof dummy stripping tool, and it's very important you get one of these. I'll leave a description below for this. This allows you to set how much shielding you're going to strip off so you can have a consistent amount every time. Then I have my test wire here. So what I'll do with my test wire is I went in here, folded it. I need enough so if I have to take one switch out, it can come out, but I don't want so much that it looks like this. I have all my wire colors here that I'm going to use, and I've already made my wiring diagram on how I want this wired. Now, looking at it this way, it's inverse. My front, back, left corner, right corner, but you have it that way because when you flip the panel to you, everything will be as it is. So how we're going to start this is I looked at, traced all these colors down. Now, if you notice you got white and purple here, you don't see white and purple anywhere else. Anywhere else. You have red and black here. You don't see red and black anywhere else through this switch panel wiring. That's not good traceability, nor is it good for troubleshooting. So I'm going to change all of that. This blue is actually going to the black and red, which this is my piston pump. So what they did is they wired 2 wires from the junction panel, 2 here into the power side of the pump. And then the yellow is the 8X dump. And then the main power, which feeds the entire panel, is this black and red. And we're going to make that red. You always want to make your hot red, in my opinion. And then all the other colors will transfer through here so I'll know what's what. So I got all my wires right here. I'll also leave the wiring kit that I've had and ordered. I've ordered a couple of different ones for the coloring. I got all of those set here. I got my dikes. I got my flathead screwdriver because you're going to need to tighten those, and we got that. And I got some heat shrink, and I'll show you what I'll do with that if I decide to do it. So let's get this party started. Enough explaining. Let's work it out because I'm also going to be working my way through this as I go. But what I'm going to do is clip them with some of the original wire that's running in their color. So I'm going to clip these back here. That way, if I have to refer back to these, I'll know what color came out of the cord and went where. I'm also going to keep these in here, and I'm going to run my switches in my makeshift panel right here, cardboard. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work from the bottom prongs up to keep a lot of stuff out of my way. Instead of going here and then going here, I'm gonna work everything coming from this side, work my way up. That way, when I do the screws, I should be free and clear starting from here, going here, instead of being here, then having to work through the wires on the top side and then the bottom side. I don't want to do all that. So find a direction to start from and work up. So I'm going to start from the dump side to the main power to the pump side. And the main power for all switches is going to be this black and red wire twisted together. This time I have them twisted together, unlike the old panel was just kind of there. And what we're going to do, even though we're going black and red, we're going to go ahead and start off the looping over to each switch with red, so that I know that that is the hot wire for the 24 volt or 12 volt supply to the switch box. I've got the power bridge in here, and what I'm going to do now is we're going to use these the rest of the way, because we have to go ahead and put 2 or more wires in one. We need to make sure they go in there right now. Another tip, or I just realized, is when you do 3 wires, you probably want to take a bit more of the shielding off so you can get more of the wire in there, because the shorter it is and the more wires you have, the stubbier it gets. So you want to go ahead and take a little bit more of this sheathing off and then twist them together. And then when you put your terminal on, you don't want to just shove it on there. You want to gradually just start twisting it in the same direction, and it'll feed itself on there when you have more wires in there. So that's what we're going to do. That's why I have 2 different sizes here. I have the red for 22 to 16, and I have 16 to 14. So we're using the different ones to accommodate how many wires we have in the terminal for each switch. Power looped in on one side of the double-sided 6-prong switch. So I'm going to go ahead and loop this one in, then I'm going to loop this one to this one, and then so on. And then we will be done with common power, which technically would be common ground, but main power. And then we're going to move to the pump side of the switches to do that. So now we have all power ran and looped over, and all the terminals good. Now we're going to go ahead and start with the pump side, starting with the piston pump to the rear pump to the left pump and then the right pump, and then we'll be finished wiring this up. Now I want you to look already how different this looks than what this was. Crazy. Okay, this is garbage. This is bullshit, and whoever did this is horrible for that. This is my first time wiring a switch panel, and it already looks a lot more methodical. You can trace anything you need to trace a lot better. So that's what you want to see in something that you're wiring up. What I am going to do on the next one is I'm not going to take the braid out as far as I took this one out for the power. I'm going to keep the braid a little bit closer on the piston side of the wiring switch. So the piston side is in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and make sure that all my terminals are staying up on the terminal connector and not coming down here toward the phenolic piece. Because if you have a terminal that's touching the phenolic piece and you tighten it down, then technically you have an intermittent connection. So you want to make sure everything's flush between the screw, the terminal, and the pole. We got all the switches wired. I'm not going to do the heat shrink just yet. I'm going to wait until I actually get it in the panel and get everything tested out. And once we get everything tested out, actually connect the ground, hit the switch, make sure everything's working appropriately. Very well possible. You always want to make sure you get your ground tapped and tap it. Don't just plug your ground in for your system, because if one of these switches is sticking or something's wired wrong, it's going to go instantaneous. And if it's your piston pump, you're talking about 8 batteries. Some of you guys are running 12 batteries to the nose. That could be crazy. So we're going to do a tap. If we get a spark or anything, it is done. We have to go back through this and find out what's wrong, because even this shitty panel wasn't doing that. So it's going to be something new that has been done, and we'll have to check on this side and compare to this side and find out where the issue is. But I really don't think anything's going to be wrong. Just look at how much cleaner that looks already, and how you know where everything is according to your wiring diagram. So if everything's right, we should be good. So we're going to go ahead and get these over here. Then we also have the new extensions right here. We'll put those on, and I'll give you a couple of tips on that as well. So let's get that part done. To take these switch extensions off, use a tool like this. A little bit better, gives you better control. And you're just gonna get in there with that Allen, just twist, and they should come right off. We're just gonna take all these off so we can get the switches out of this panel. You don't have to take the Allens all the way out, although some of them will, just a turn or a quarter turn. Put them back in there, just take them all out. And I'm gonna tell you what not to do when you put the new extensions on. Very important, so that you don't mess up the switch. And now we'll just get a socket, get in here, take these off, start putting these in. I decided to go ahead and use these locking nuts because you can use a socket and really kind of tighten the switch in there. And you want to make sure that this notch on all the switches are faced the same way, because you should have wired everything with the same throw. If I hit this up, everything should ignite the pumps, not pimps. If I hit that down, everything should activate the dumps. Excuse me, I'm burping and it's late. It's like 1 a.m. in the morning, 1 a.m., 0100. So we're going to use all these, and then we're going to go ahead and do a test. Now that we got all the switches in, just kind of throw them, see what you got before you put any extensions on. And then also wiggle your box around or your plate around and make sure you don't have any unnecessary stress on any of the wires pulling. Initially, I had this orange was coming over the blue and it was stressing this orange. So I took it and rerouted it under the blue. Green seemed like it may be doing the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this green one and take it up under the blue and take it back to its situation. Because you can see how if I hold it like this, the blue wants to come up, but the green's kind of on there. So I'm going to go ahead and run the green under here as well. And that'll take any pressure off that, and everything else should be kind of free flowing. And put this on. Now this is the next thing. You see that? You don't want to put this nut to butt on that, because that's going to mess your switch throw up, and it's probably going to damage your switch internally over time, or you're not going to have the right throw when you hit the switch, or maybe you don't even activate the pump or the dump. So what you're going to do is you're going to come out and you're going to test it. Now, if I came this way and I ran into that, it's not out far enough. So I want to come out and test it. That's out far enough. So what I want to do is tighten it up right there. Go again, take it out a little bit. I'm going to tighten it right there. That's where I'm going to tighten my extension. Now I should be able to throw without hitting the collar. And there you go. I got full switch throw. You want them all like that. Do not run these directly up on this. All right, it's time for the quick test. We're not going to even touch the switch panel right now, besides for just making sure it's not laying on the switch. We're going to go to the back and we're going to tap the ground. If the ground sparks, we're done. No spark, connect the ground. Now it's time to hit a switch, see what we got. So first what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and do back first, because it's less juice going to the 2 pumps in the back. So if I hit this up, it should raise. Wow, we in there like swimwear, baby. There we go. Way better reaction. Hit the front. Ooh, that motherfucker jumping. That motherfucker ready, baby. That's what we want. The old switch panel was not getting us that reaction. There were just too many breaks. The wiring was old. It was a lot of other problems, and the switches were probably bad, but that is what you want out of your switch panel. We can even go higher in the rear. And now we just want to go ahead and dump, make sure we got the right dumps. And we're good there. Good there. Dump the whole rear. Bow. Now we want to make sure the 8X dump is going to kick in. Boom. 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 Make sure everything's dumped out. Now what we'll do to finish up, we'll go ahead and heat shrink all these. There's your new switch panel, and I heat shrink these because that way you're not touching on the terminals, because sometimes you can get a little zap or a little zing if you happen to have your hand on one of these terminals while you got the switch box plugged in. So now these heat shrinks will keep you from doing that. You don't have to use a bunch of electrical tape, but that's what we want, man. Playing on that switch. See you on the next one.